Hey everybody, this is going to be a playthrough of Mission 7A from the Valley campaign for the Flaming Cliffs A-10A. If you're playing Mission 7 of the campaign and your briefing doesn't look like this, you're probably on Mission 7B, so switch over to the video for that one. Looking at the mission briefing, we got a morning mission in the summer. There's kind of a low cloud layer and some mist and fog and stuff on the ground, so visibility is not great in this mission, but you need to stay low anyway to avoid an SA-11, so it's really not a big deal. Looking at the loadout, we got a mix of cluster bombs and Mavericks. Looking at the allies, we got a single A-10A wingman, and then there's a couple AH-64 Apache helicopters flying around. Looking at the objective, we're flying out to a couple of waypoints and destroying 3 tanks each at each of those waypoints. Looking at the threat, we got an SA-11 off to the northwest somewhere. There's not a lot of high ground in between you and it, so it's probably going to shoot at you quite a bit. When it does, you're going to need to dive pretty low to trash those missiles, so just be aware of that. Also, there's a good chance because of that, your wingman's going to die early on, so try to get as much as you can out of him. Other than that, we got a Tunguska, so a mix of AAA and optically guided missiles, I think. So that's pretty deadly. Got a couple of Shilkas, got some Strela IR guided SAMs, stuff like that. Looking at the pictures here, we got an overview of the route. So we're going to take off out of Koboleti, head out to the east, kind of come in at the south end, hit target 1 here, and then head on up to waypoint 5 and hit the other group of tanks there. Looking at the pictures, we got a couple pictures of the target areas. Kind of hard to see anything in this, so it's not super useful. Looking at the mission planner, take a look at the route again. So we're going to come up, head northeast towards the targets. This first group is going to be split across a road at waypoint 4. It's 3 here in the planner, but it'll be 4 in the jet. I'm going to have 2 tanks east or west of the road and 1 tank east of the road. Based on the trajectory here, the angle coming in, this one to the east is going to be a little tricky to see behind these trees. So you may want to come out when you've got a little bit of safety established and come and attack that from the west if need be. You're going to want to be aware of the Shilka that's nearby them, although you should be able to stay far enough away if you're using Mavericks. I've also got a Tunguska here that may spawn, so that's real deadly. You might want to look into this field past waypoint 4, kind of at the northeast end of the field, and see if you can spot that. If you can, go ahead and chuck a Maverick at it. This group of tanks through the middle here is not part of your targets. The Apaches will be handling that. You've got another Shilka up in here. You've got a group, including some tanks and I think there's a Strela here. But the other target area is here. This will be waypoint 5 in the jet, so you got another 3 tanks, again, split across the road. So 1 to the west, 2 to the east of this leftmost road. And you'll want to be aware of this Strela that will be there, and then this Tunguska that could possibly be there. It's a random chance on that one. So overall plan, we'll just follow the route. We're going to stay pretty low because we got the SA-11 site up here. Like I said, there's not really any real tall hills or anything in between that and where you'll be flying, so it's a pretty big threat. So stay low to stay out of its view as long as you can and keep your wingman alive. Once you get close to waypoint 4 or waypoint 3, you can go ahead and tell your wingman to engage primary and hope that he can kill some of these tanks for you because you've only got 4 Mavericks. Whatever he does a kill, that's great. If not, you may have to clean it up with cluster bombs and cannon at the end, which could be a little bit risky. So spot this group here, chuck a couple Mavericks at whichever tanks you can see. See if you can spot this Tunguska up here. If you can, go ahead and kill that. Then finish up with this group. If you need to come out to the west to attack this easternmost tank, so be it. Just be aware that if you get too high or too far north, you'll have this stuff up here shooting at you. Once you've got those 3 tanks destroyed, you'll get a message telling you can move on to waypoint 5. So once you do that, you're going to come up over here. Probably best to attack it from the southwest again, so don't just follow this line in between waypoint 4 and 5, because that'll have you running right along the edge of all this anti-air stuff. So come back out to the southwest and then come in on a northeast vector towards this. These 3 units will be pretty easy to spot. There's really nothing in the way. But at this point, you probably won't have enough Mavericks to deal with them all if your wingman didn't help you much. So kill whatever you can with your remaining Mavericks. You might want to spot this Strela back here and possibly use a Maverick on that, or try to attack it with guns. Using the cluster bombs in the mission is going to be pretty risky just because you're not going to want to get too high because of the SA-11. If you try for a CCRP drop, you're just going to have to be flying straight and level for longer than is comfortable with all this stuff potentially shooting at you. So it's probably a little easier to use cannon in this case. So if you need to attack the Strela, go ahead and do that. You can try to spot this Tunguska and see if it spawned. If it did, it may make sense to just kind of stay low and stay out of its line of sight. But if you need to attack it, obviously a Maverick is best, but it's possible to kill these with cannon as well. So once you've got that as safe as you want it to be, just keep coming in from the southwest and killing these tanks with whatever you got left. Once you've destroyed all of those, you get a message telling you can RTB. At that point, you're probably not going to want to hang out and destroy anything else because this mission's pretty dangerous. So just RTB back to Kobuleti. Again, you want to stay pretty low because if you get out over the water, this SA-11 is going to have a line of sight on you and he'll lock you up and launch at you, even if you're pretty low. So stay low, try to stay over the land if you can, but there's going to be mist and fog on the ground, makes Kobuleti a little hard to spot. So just be patient, don't drive into the ground, spot that airfield, land when you can. Just make sure you don't get shot by that SA-11. Good luck. All right, start the mission. We got a boring flight ahead, so I'll put timestamps in the video description if you want to skip the boring stuff. Just stay pretty low to avoid an SA-11 that's out on the other side of these little hills. Start popping up a little bit, looking for targets. Grid 1-4 is going to be out there somewhere. Tell the wingman to engage primary.
Flight.
Alright, take a look over here somewhere. Alright, got a couple units I can see. Alright, I'm not seeing anything else out there, but there must be at least one more tank. Not seeing anything in the field. got to evade that.
Pull up, pull up. Altitude, altitude.
I say 11's out here over these little hills somewhere. It's not very far. Alright, southern group's done. Tell the wingman to join up on me again. I don't want him to get too far into the danger zone out there. Alright, I'll switch it to waypoint 5. Alright, I've got some good distance from waypoint 5, so I'll turn and start looking around. Alright, wingman got hit. Alright, I see a unit here. And we're close enough, so I'll launch on that. I think we got something over here. Yeah.
Altitude, altitude.
Alright, setting it back to return mode. There's a lot of anti-air threat in that area, so I'm not interested in going in there with guns and cluster bombs.
Altitude, altitude. Altitude, altitude. Altitude, altitude.
getting locked by the SA-11 even as we try to come in for a landing, so I'm going to have to do this pretty low. Oh, missed the airfield. There it was there. So we'll come around to the left.
Altitude, altitude. Altitude, altitude.
Alright, starting to be able to see that runway. Gotta come right some more. That'll do it.